Everybody, welcome back. We're in day 2 of the Pulsechain sacrifice. It's day 2, folks, and what's about a day and 18 hours, somewhere around that mark. Awesome stuff. So still about 5-6 hours to go in day 2. Remember, there's 19 days, and I know a lot of people that haven't even sacrificed yet, so they're holding off. Some of them have got different strategies. Some of them are doing percentages per day. Some of them are doing what else are they doing? Some of them are doing waiting for the price to rise, stuff like that to time the prices if they're not doing a stable coin. So there's lots of stuff going on like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, welcome. We're going to have a good chat. This is a sacrifice hangout. So we're going to look at all things sacrifice for the Pulsechain. Remember, keep it on topic, Pulsechain only, and related stuff, like the tokens that you might be sacrificing, stuff like that. But let's have a lot of fun with this. This is super awesome. One day, 18 hours. We've still got about 5-6 hours to go. And obviously after this, after day 2, we've got 17 days after that. So it's going to be a lot of a fun ride. It's going to be pretty exciting. It's actually the sacrifice totals are actually tracking to my my initial videos. If you see my initial videos on Pulsechain, that's actually tracking on when my volume base numbers. So it's actually going pretty good to plan. I'm pretty stoked. I think there's a really good amount at the moment being sacrificed and looking good. And I know a ton of people haven't even sacrificed, like I say, and they've got different strategies that they're playing out there for sure. So awesome stuff there. Let's go into the comments there. We've got a couple of comments. So we've got Crypto Nomus. Hey, let's go. Absolutely, let's go, man. I'm 100% behind that. And Crypto Nomus says, this will be the longest 18 days for me. It's going to be a long time. Yeah, it is part of the fun, though, as well. I get it. Everyone likes the end game, but the journey is fun, too. The journey is fun, too. So here we are on the Pulsechain website. Obviously, if you're wanting to do sacrifice, make sure you do your due diligence, not investment advice. There's 2 phases in the Pulsechain. There's the sacrifice phase at the beginning, which is 19 days, and then it's going to have some calibrations at the end. And then there is there's a test net as well for the main net, a public test net. Then a snapshot after that. We call it a snapshot of the fork, Ethereum fork, and then the public, the actual live Pulsechain will go live after that. So you got the sacrifice, the public test net, the fork / snapshot, and then you've got the go live with the Pulsechain, and obviously the pulse coin, which is everybody is after in the sacrifice phase. That's why they're sacrificing. It's optional to sacrifice. You'll obviously get an airdrop, a copy of everything on the Ethereum blockchain when the Pulsechain on Ethereum will be copied over to the Pulsechain when that launches on the mainnet. So you can do nothing. You don't have to do the sacrifice. But if you want to chase all those big Pulse coins, but like Pulse is like Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you're after the Pulse coin on the Pulsechain, that's what you're trying to get. You see, so people are trying to get big bags of that. That's how it's playing out, and it is optional, of course. Make sure you do your own due diligence. There's not financial advice, information, and entertainment purposes only. But let's get into it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sacrifice Hangout day 2. Let's go. All right, so awesome stuff on that. We've got Vusi in the house. How's everyone doing today? Doing fantastic, Vusi. Good to see you in the chat. And remember, let's keep it on topic, Pulsechain and related stuff to that. That's what this is all about, this one here. The sacrifice is going to be awesome. So this is the website here. You can find this in the link in the video description. Remember to check all links for that they're official. Once you get onto the DApp, you can actually do the official checks. So you can read up this. I'm not going to go through this today, but this is the basic idea. We've got 5 days. 5 days where you get the best rate per dollar, so you get 10,000 points per dollar, and a point is a pulse token, and then it's going to go up after that, so it gets more expensive, almost up to $2 by day 19, and therefore you'll get half as much, or if you look at the other way, it will cost you twice as much to get the same as you would in the first 5 days. That's the first feature, is the time value. Then the second feature is, so the earlier is better. You can see earlier is better because it's you get much more benefit. But then the second part, of course, is a bigger is better. So the more that you sacrifice, the bigger that will be, and that's the second part, the volume bonus multiplier. So you can see basically that there's a linear bonding curve, what they call that, between 1 and 2.5. So imagine all the US dollar equivalent amounts. That's what matters when you're sacrificing. Doesn't matter if you're sacrificing stable coin or a non-stable coin. It's the US dollar amount at that time that you sacrifice over a half an hour period for non-stable coins, and that's what counts. And you will be ranked compared to everybody else's sacrifice, and that's how you're going to get allocated between 2.5 and 1 on there. There's also a flat bonus at the end of day 17, 18, 19, 1.75. So that really encourages people to rank themselves up over the whole period there. So basically, you can sacrifice more if you want to get your rank higher on this multiplier bonus, basically. So you've got this time bonus here. Get in early is better, and obviously bigger is better. And then you'll get even more pulse coins at the end with the reward. Remember, you're making a political statement at the bottom that you're not receiving anything. If you sacrifice your coins, they're gone. You're not supposed to expect any work from others, and that's the way it goes. And then, of course, and thanks basically for your political sacrifice. You're going to get some something like a pulse coin airdrop later on. That's the game and play. All right, so very cool. Let's just jump over to some of the actual stats there. We're going to check out some of the results, and then we're going to go over to the Twitter and see what updates there are. We've got a lot of insight. I've got some special insights for you. If you stay tuned for this, you're going to think, oh, okay. So this is not just going to be covering the numbers. We're going to be talking about some potential insights for you around about what might happen in the future. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be interesting. All right, so let's quickly go to the actual sacrifice numbers, and let's jump over to Nomics and see where Hex is at the moment. It is sitting at number 3 on the Nomics index, and you can see currently about 16.1 cents, just floating around in the 16-cent mark there somewhere. And the market cap is 92.57 billion, still ranked number 3 after Ethereum on nomics.com. And you can see the volume is 100 million, so still super healthy. Awesome stuff there. Let's quickly look on DEX tools. You can see that the hourly price on DEX tools, a bit of a pullback here, but still holding up strong in that 16-cent range. So it's going to be an interesting day today. Obviously, the first 5 days, remember, where people get the best number of points for sacrifice. So this is going to be interesting. Hex is obviously the golden child, and we'll see how that goes over the next day. All right, very cool. Let's jump over to the addresses, of course, and we're going to check this out. So this is actually the Ethereum sacrifice address. So every ERC20 token that sacrificed plus the Ethereum itself will get sacrificed on this site. And you can see some Ethereum actually has been moved. So the value for Ethereum is actually way higher. It's actually been moved. I haven't got the transactions for that, but that's where it's at the moment, 1,000. But it was a couple thousand the other day. So they've moved some of that Ethereum out. But it looks like the ERC20s are all there, so that nothing's changed on that balance. So the balance is actually higher than this. So you got 166 plus 2 million just on the Ethereum. Doesn't include Bitcoin. Bitcoin's I think about a couple million bucks at least, and then there's a few other non-Ethereum tokens as well that's being sacrificed. So let's quickly go into this part here. Let me just jump over here. Oh, yeah, let's just jump over here. So this is where we're going to go. So you can see that Hex at the moment is 125. This is based on current values and not historical values. So obviously it's the time-weighted average prices when you do the sacrifice. So whatever those prices are will actually be the sacrifice dollars. But this is the current market price, 125 million. But this is the key number here, 763 million Hex has been sacrificed. Interesting number. It's tracking pretty much as I expected, and that's pretty cool. And US dollars are 24 million, and stable coins 13.3 million. These have really jumped overnight since we last had our last live stream yesterday. These have really jumped. So we did a live stream at 17 hours yesterday. You can check that out on this channel. And then Tether, US dollars, $3.8 million. So if you want to compare the numbers, check out that live stream that we did yesterday, 17 on the 17 hours. Now we're doing one day and 18 hours. Then you've got Uniswap at 28. Now I did think that a lot more Uniswap would be sacrificed. Interesting. It may still happen later. Who knows? Aave token, 10.5 million. Maker, and there's lots of other tokens in here. Some of them are not part of the sacrifice list, so we'll see how those get taken into account. But we've got Wrap Bitcoin there. So just small amounts of that, but obviously most of the Bitcoin has been in a non-Ethereum dress. But there we are. So let's jump into the Hex there as we check that out. Don't forget, feel free to chat away in the chat there. Just keep it on topic. That's all I ask for sure. So there we are, 766 million hex is so far sacrificed. We're only in day 2, 1 day and 18 hours or so, maybe 19 by now. And this is the link. So you can actually find this link. This is actually the contract for the Ethereum sacrifice. So if you actually went back on Pulsechain, opened up the DApp, you just click the DApp. That's where you do the actual sacrifice. So if you're going to sacrifice, you need to use your MetaMask wallet, and you connect your MetaMask wallet. You select the network. So in this case, Ethereum, and this is the address we were looking at here. This is the address, which is OX9C, and then it ends at 62CB. So that's the biggest sacrifice address for Ethereum and ERC20 tokens. And so far, it's $120 million at the moment. 125 million dollars. Now this is interesting because this 766 million. Let's go and see what percentage of total hex is actually sacrificed, since this is the main sacrifice. But I've been pretty happy with the stable coins as well. Obviously, those don't move around in value, so people, when they sacrifice them, they get that. That's what they will be. But for everything that's not stable coin, it depends on when you're actually putting it in, what US dollar equivalent amount you'll be getting as part of that. So let's jump over to where am I going? Over here. So let's jump over to this part here. So this is showing you the amount sacrificed in percentage terms. So here we are at 0.121. Interesting number, and that's about where I expected it to be too. So it's pretty cool. Here we're going. Here we got 572.48 billion hex is in liquid, but we know that probably over 90% of that is sitting in the origin wallet. So if you're familiar with, or the origin address, if you're familiar with that part of Hex ecosystem, then that there is sitting there, and it's basically inactive. It's sort of working in favor of the project. And so we know that it's commonly accepted that we've got 5% or less of that liquid is actually liquid stuff that actually can be sold. So what the sacrifice is going to reduce that liquid amount. Obviously, there's stuff coming out of this group here. So this group is the staked amount, 60.89 billion hex, and that is the one that actually earns the interest, which is 3.69% per year. But because it's only about 9%, what is it, 9.6% of all hex is staked, they're earning that 3.69%, and that equals about 38% APY. So that's how that works, because so much of all of the rest of the actual hex is liquid, and it's owned by the origin wallet, or the origin address, the OA they call it. And so what's happening here is this is masterful. This is masterful. This is the holy grail. There's three main features that really pump prices. One of them is scarcity. So getting that amount really squeezed below that 5%. All projects are trying to get to 5%. You get 5%, you can actually start to get that squeeze on in the price. And so there we are. You want everyone staked long term, or you want an inactive liquidity, which is what the OA does. And so you squeeze that out. And so now, if you think about 5 percentage points, we've now got just over 150 of that is already sacrificed. And we know that from Richard, that's going to be hypothetically not going to go back onto the market again. So it's basically going to join the origin address in the same function. And so that's huge. And you can see how it's just ratcheting up, limiting the supply, and therefore increasing the demand, and pushing the price up. It's masterful stuff, and we're playing it out. It's playing live, folks, in our time. So there we're up to 0.12. Now, is that going to get to 1% or 2%? Because there you got that 5% getting down to 4% to 3%. OMG. So that bodes well for the medium-term price, right? Anything can happen from day to day, time to time, because you can get a seller coming in. Maybe one of the sacrifice people, stakers that has the big stake coming up. Maybe they're a Hex OG, and they decide, I just want to pick up my big bags, and so they want to sell that down. We saw that a couple of those yesterday, day before. They come in and they sell down. Maybe they're going to sacrifice it. Maybe they sell it down and want to sacrifice it into US dollars, make it certain. Whatever their plans are, or they're just taking the profits. That's the way it works. So, but whatever happens, that's the only way you're going to increase that liquid supply, is if a staker comes and sells out. But a lot of stakers get so big because the price gets so big that just like Ethereum, a lot of them won't end up selling, and they'll just take the money they want to earn a living because they're earning such a high APY. Where else are you gonna? Not many places you can earn that side of APY and have your big bag appreciation, plus having a liquid squeeze on the market. So interesting stuff at play. So I'm trying to give you some of the insights about what some of the things are happening here, but we've got more stuff than that, folks. It's even better than that. So hey, we've got a big just to go back to Crypto Journeyman. Hey, bro. Hey, good to see you, Crypto Journeyman, in the chat there. Nice one. All right, so that's some of the stuff. So that's the amount sacrificed. That number is very important because we got that 5% getting squeezed down, and that bodes well for price rocketing. And remember, all the sacrifice stuff that goes into the sacrifice address, if it gets kept off like their origin address, then it's also going to get the snapshot, and it will be off the Pulse side as well, because there's going to be a copy of Liquid Hex over on to Pulsechain Hex. So there's going to be P Hex and E Hex. And of course, if there's less on the E Hex, it's going to be less on the P Hex for Liquid, and it's going to be sitting in the sacrifice address. So that's basically based on the information Richard's given us and indicated through the hypothetical scenarios that we expect at the moment. So it really is quite masterful. The master is at work. All right, so nice one there. Interesting enough, we've also got the T-share there, rocketed up about $1,000 yesterday or the last 2 days, and that's just looking amazing. Flipped Ethereum. That's just a mind-boggling T-share price now. So you can ask yourself if you're wanting to pick up T-shares. Right, so we've got this green line here. It's got sacrifice on the chart, but it's not quite big enough yet. I imagine maybe when it gets to 1%, so yeah, 1% or 1 billion, something like that, it will start showing up on this nice pie chart here. But that's interesting stuff. So keep a keen eye on this one. This is on App Hex at win.charts. I'm going to post that in the chat if you want to check that out yourself. Very cool site. So check that out. Boom. All right. So just posting that so you can check that one out. Nice one. All right, so there we are, folks, for that. And let's just jump over to back to the address here. So this is what we've got here, 766 million sacrificed Hex. Pretty nice. Let's just go back and check out some of the other stuff. I just want to do the stable coins first. You can see we see the total was 166.8 million at current market prices. Doesn't include the timestamps, of course, and non-stable coins sacrifice. So as I understand, there's no total number like that around at this stage. But we have got a new website, so we're going to check that out. Currently got 2 million in ETH in there, but there's some ETH has been taken out of there, and that's it. So we got some really good stablecoin results here. Look at us, almost 25 million in USDC, and DAI stable as well, and Tether stable. Some of this ETH may have been transferred into USDC or something like that. That's possible, or it may have gone out to another address, possibly even the origin addresses. You just don't know unless you're tracking it. They may funnel it through via Binance, and then you lose track or something. All sorts of things could be happening behind the scenes there, but some tremendous USDC results. I'm really stoked by this. Looking good. All right, so that's the total sacrifice at the moment. We've also gone through the total sacrifice percentage, which is going up nicely. I'm liking it. If that goes up to 1%, I'll be like, OMG, because you get like 5% down to 4%, and really the only stuff that's going to come out is from stakers. A lot of the stakers, of course, are Hexkins, and a lot of them are staking long, staking fat, as Hodl Dog would say, and you know, it's pretty much the way it's going. So it's just a beautiful thing. But wait, there's more. You think there's less, there's more. It's a bit like those Ginsu knife ads. Wait, but there's more. You get a set of Ginsu knives or something. So it is a lot more. But before we get to the secret source stuff, let's get on to the actual sacrifice and the Sense. So this is the Sense Foundation. So part of the sacrifice phase has the sort of the charity to the Sense Foundation, which is doing long life and health research, and they've been really stoked at the moment. So this is their address at the moment. So as stuff gets sacrificed to these guys, you actually have to email them and get that arranged to the sacrifice. You also have potential for you get 75% less points, but you get 75% of the total points you otherwise would get if you did normal sacrifice. But you do have an opportunity for tax write-off depending on your jurisdiction, tax jurisdiction and stuff. But there we are, folks, and you can see that this is the money coming in at the moment. Actually, I might refresh this just to give it a refresh. But this is the Sense Foundation stuff, and this has been going super well over 20 million. But we're going to check out some of that as well. But you can see the actual individual amounts coming in as soon as they go in to the sacrifice address for the Sense Foundation, which you can see up here, OXF4 E136. It gets sold onto Coinbase. So you can see here, what we got, the last one, $3,000 came in. Immediately it was sold on Coinbase. So they're taking the USDC amount. So everything that they get gets basically dumped, if you want to use a better word, dumped and sold because they need the USDC amount. That's how they roll. And obviously they're funding their research and product development, I guess. But you can see some big numbers in there, 90,000, 10,000, some decent little whacks there, 50,000, 10,000. So lots of stuff going on there. And that's pretty awesome. So well done to Richard Hart, and obviously well done to the community for participating in the Sense Foundation for that good cause. Pretty cool there. So that's it. So we've seen the total at the moment. Obviously, we don't have a formal total, but we've seen the current market value total in the ETH sacrifice address. Doesn't include Bitcoin and stuff, but it's got even more millions in the Bitcoin. I understand last time I found information earlier was that it's about 55 Bitcoin or something, or maybe 60 Bitcoin by now. So a couple $1 million, and then some of the other tokens, as far as I know. But you do need to set up the wallets to view those ones. And I'll try and do that later today. All right, so that's there. And so this is the new website, pulselead.xyz. I've got this in the video description below. So if you want to check this out, this is the first the public sacrifice totals. So this just complements what we see on the Ethereum blockchain that we just looked at. So this is welcome Pulse Lead, total sacrifice so far. So you can find the link in the video description at the very bottom. This has just been added on to those other official links. The prices are calculated from historical data. Here are the sacrifice phase leaderboards. The site only tracks the following cryptocurrencies: Aave, Link, DAI, ETH, Hex, Maker, Ren BTC, USDC, USDT, Uni, Wrapped Bitcoin, and Wrapped ETH. So there we are. You can click on address to copy it to the clipboard as well. But this is basically, let's have a look. We've got total based on the historical data is 143,767. That's what it's got as historical. So it's a little bit different from obviously the market prices. And we saw the market, or excluding the Ethereum, which has been adjusted, we've got 166 million in there. And the Pulse lead is currently, this one here saying 143. So that's based on historical data rather than market data. So it's going super well. I mean, this is going so good. And then we can actually see the top ones. Let's just quickly go. Just got a couple of comments there. Mitch Cooper there already sacrificed about 6% of my liquid X. Sounds like a good plan to DCA into X every paycheck now, even after sacrifice phase. I think so, Mitch Cooper. And wait till I talk about a topic soon. I think you'll find it insightful, and it may actually make for some interesting phases over the sacrifice period. I think there's some shock and awe going to come in this phase, in the sacrifice phase, so it's going to be really interesting. Hey, Ken Homestead. Hey, cheers. Good to see you, Ken. Always a pleasure. Always like seeing Ken in there for sure. So very nice. Hey, welcome everybody to this sacrifice hangout. I'm trying to give you the latest and greatest of the sacrifice information and a few insights as well. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, of course. And if you want to support this growth of this channel, which is growing pretty fast, hit the join button and consider becoming a sponsored member. And we've got 4 different types. You've got Axionites, Heroes, and Elite, and Kraken. So those are the 4 different type of memberships. Check it out, support this channel. We're going to be covering Pulsechain for a long time to come, and obviously we cover Axion and a lot of other great DeFi. Only gold standard DeFi on this channel. None of those rubbishy projects. Just the very cream of the crop of cryptocurrency, because we want to get the most value out of it with the least downside. So awesome stuff. So once again, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. All right, so that's a little plug for this channel. Here we go. This is where we're at the moment. So these are the top contributors so far. And so you can see based on the historical data, no doubt. And you got total sacrifice. Someone sacrificed 11 million US dollars. Yeah, baby. 11 million sacrifice. So awesome stuff there. You got 5.19 million below there. 4.1 million. and 3.7. So this is based on the Ethereum blockchain, remember? So if someone in Bitcoin has sacrificed a huge number, they'd probably end up being in this list here, somewhere around here potentially. So there could be 1 or 2 of those coming. Now you got 3.7 million, 2.5. So these are the top 5. So some pretty serious money, but I think that's we're going to see bigger stuff to come. Although this is pretty big stuff, we're going to see some big money. But you can sort of see some of the money that's coming in. But I think there's much more to come. It's going to be interesting. We're only in day 2. We've got 17 days to go after day 2. So it's going to be pretty interesting. But look at that, millions, lots of millions in there, and going down there. So pretty awesome list. Once again, you can see this in the link description at the very bottom. It's pulselead.xyz. And it's Pulse with an S, of course, Pulse Lead, LEAD.xyz. So it's pretty awesome stuff. All right, so Crypto Journeyman, half my Hex bag went to Pulse and some ETH to Sends. Oh, nice there, Crypto Journeyman. Well done on that. So pretty cool. Leonardo Rivera, how much total supply at the end of the sacrifice ends? Well, we're going to find out, Leonardo. Don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what the total sacrifice is, and we can do those adjustments at the end. I don't want to speculate too much on that. I am expecting, think we've got a good chance of this total sacrifice, in my view, getting over $1 billion. I think there's a pretty good chance. I was pretty confident before the sacrifice started that we would get 300 to 400 million, and at the very low 100 million, but we've obviously blitzed that. So 400 million was kind of my number, but I think that we have quite a good chance of getting even up to over the billion mark. That's going to be super great. In terms of Hex, of course, I'm thinking that we could get something like 2 billion, something like that, maybe around that mark. But yeah, that's just off the top of my head, but that's sort of giving an adjustment. Now we know that there's about, if we go back to the Hex Sacrifice stuff, we know that we've got 572 billion liquid, and most of that's in the Origin wallets, and we've got 60.89 billion in the stake there. So 60 plus 570 is what, 630. About 630, so about 630 billion. So if we get a couple billion sacrifice, that'd be epic. But obviously, we've only got about 5% of this liquid. Total supply is liquid, so that's going to be epic. So maybe I'll set, can't even work that out on straight off the mat, but that's probably where we're at the moment. Crypto Journeyman, how much Hex has been sacrificed already? Yeah, so we'll go back to that quickly just to refresh on that one. So we've got the amount at, here it is here. This is the amount sacrificed in numbers. So we're at 766 million at the moment. So 766 million, almost 767, and I expect that to get up to a couple billion, and that's huge. If it gets up to that, that'd be epic. But we're only on day 2. We're 3/4 away to 1 billion, and we know there's about 630 billion in total. But obviously of that part, let me just get the old calculator out and just do a quick number for that one. 0.05. Yeah, so there might be something like 25 to 35 billion in liquid. So if we get a couple of billion in that, it's going to be pretty awesome. I will try and do some numbers on that and get that closer. But if we get a couple of billion there, that's huge removal of liquidity, and that's going to bode really well for the medium term. So awesome stuff there. I might have to go back to some of the original data as well on that, and I'll go check that as well. So it's my homework. That's my homework, and I'll hopefully pull that up on tomorrow's live stream. Be cool. All right, so hopefully that helps there. 766, almost 767 million Hex sacrifice. We're going up to 1 billion. That's huge. These are great numbers. So really good. And you can actually see that once again, we have actually sacrificed 0.121 has been sacrificed. That will show up on the chart soon, either once we get to 1 billion or somewhere close to 1%. And I'm expecting that to get 1 to 2%. That'd be awesome. That's percentage points. So that's total percentage points. That's a massive amount. So if we say we've got about 5% liquid, that's going down to 4, down to 3%, somewhere like that. And obviously the only other stuff would be from hexkins or stakers that are staked and selling stuff down out of the staked amount. So pretty awesome stuff. But we're also seeing some pretty amazing stuff so that's the top wallets. So you can see the top wallets. You've seen the amount of Hex, seen the total amount of sacrifice there. And hopefully I've got the address up. I think I've actually taken it down. Let me have a look. So we're just going to go over to the overview. This is on hex.vision. So if you want to check that, that's on hex.vision. You can find it on hex.com. But let's quickly go down. We've got the total amount of hex here, 634 billion hex. But remember that quite a bit of it's staked. This is basically similar to this pie chart here, basically the same numbers. And then we've got 573 billion circulating, give or take. And so that's that. And you can see we've got massive increases in staking on Hex at the moment. Look at that, huge, massive increases in staking. And look at this jumps in addresses, 304.5 thousand up to 306,000 wallets. This is jumping massive every day. And so this is going to climb. This could end up being 400,000 addresses or something by the time we end the sacrifice phase in 19 days time or 17 days time from now. You can see we've got 9.6% lock, so it's going to be interesting stuff there, folks. I mean, it really is some really cool numbers happening in this space, and those are massive jumps. This was not jumping like that previously, and we know that everything, if you're talking about the hex stakes, everything below squids, like tinkering turtles, those level of accounts, you're getting a lot of wallets, particularly the bottom three tiers. So it's pretty interesting stuff happening in that space. These are great numbers. I'm sure Richard's pretty stoked. I have seen that on the live stream. So pretty awesome stuff. Now, I'm just going to find the address. Hopefully, I've got it set up. Let me just pull up a new site there. Jump away. I think it's this one here. So we'll just go find this. Let's go. Boom. So here's some of the insights. This is some of the stuff never heard it. This is some of the stuff that I think you're going to find interesting. This is the God whale. This is known as the God whale. This whale has been buying up Hex. Now, is it the OA wallet? Don't know. But this is the God whale, and it's got 89,900 Ethereum in it. We're currently worth 169 million US dollars. Over the current price of ETH, which is continuing to fall, 1,878. It has a lot of Hex in it. So you can see the Hex here. It's got 178 million Hex sitting in it with 29 million US dollars. Let's go check this out. So this is the God whale. This is looks like it's done no sacrifice so far. It's only been buying. It was buying a lot in the previous days, and then it started buying 3 days ago. So it hadn't been buying for quite a long time, about 25 days. Stopped buying. You can see it was buying. This the God whale, and then it started buying 3 days ago, and it's continued to be buying at different intervals, and it's been buying 2 million, 3 millions all the way. That's a lot of Ethereum. It's about 250 Ethereum each or so pretty huge. And it's now sitting on a massive amount, 178 million Hex, or 29 million US dollars. This is pretty interesting stuff. Crypto German, wow. Yeah, so this is huge. So this is the wild card. This is what I call the wild card. And I think this could be part of a bigger strategy. So let's say, I think that it's unlikely that it's going to settle down when the price goes high. It's possible it could do that. But I think what it might do is it could potentially, that's one. Scenario one, it sells down at some later stage when the price is even higher. Number two, it's actually part of the whole sacrifice play, and therefore it will actually buy up more. It will actually buy up more later and push the price up of Hex even higher. Will it push it up? It has the economic energy to be able to push it up to $1, doesn't it? So you can just go and test that on the market buys. So if you went in, you could actually do that, and they can do that through the multiple pools. So this is scenario two. So is it? Don't connect these. These are sayings. You know, Richard's not going to light his candles to $1. Interesting, but this God whale has the potential to do certain things, and so it can do it over time, just slowly ratchet up the price over the sacrifice phase. Will it do it? I don't know. This is just scenario two. and so it actually increases the price when it goes to sacrifice if this is not related, if it's just an individual independent wealthy person, then they can push the market price up, sacrifice all the hex, and get a huge dollar value on the pulse chain. So that's scenario 2. Scenario 3, of course, is that it's related to the OA wallet, and therefore it's going to be in the game. So we don't know what's OA wallet how it's going to play. We know that 1% of the pulse is going to go to the sacrifice address, but what's happening with the OA? What will that do? Will that enter and get a huge amount of the pulse later in the thing and be like the origin, and then act like an origin wallet on the pulse chain? So some interesting stuff going ahead. Also lifting the total value as well of the funds raised. So some interesting stuff going there on there, and obviously accumulate more hex as well and sacrifice more hex. So it's all win 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 from that point of view. So I think that's coming up, and obviously we know a lot of individuals are holding off. They're either DC averaging in or waiting for waiting for the price to rise of the non-stable coins for their sacrifice to get the highest US dollar amount. And will that happen on day 5? Because day 5 is the last day. So we got day 5 over here. Let's go day 5. So we got day 5. Will that happen around here? Are we going to get some pretty big price action around day 4, day 5, or specifically day 5? It's going to be pretty interesting. I think we will anyway, regardless. But if we've got big god whales walking around, is it the only one? Obviously, you know, Richard knows some pretty influential people. We've got some. There's already talked about other founders going in. So I think we're only seeing, you know, there's going to be a lot of action at different times during this phase, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see that. Obviously, if you're going to increase the price of hex, for example, you need to do more than double, right? Because if you're going to do a lot of this game, if you're going to lift the price at some stage later, it's going to be really high. This under that scenario, it's just a scenario, of course. I don't know the future, just going off what's happening there, speculating on these scenarios. And so is that going to lift up around here perhaps? And are we going to move 20, 30, 40, 50 cents dollar to hold that up? Obviously, it's a bit like you lift the price and then let the market sort of lift the price too. So fresh cash comes in that's not part of your play. Then you let the pullback, but then you lift the price again. The market jumps onto it as well. You get the economic energy adding on, multiplying your economic energy. And I'm talking about the origin, you know, type wallet, or the god whale, or whoever else is there out there that's got that sort of energy. That's sort of the play. Imagine if we had both of those plays happening at the same time. Wow, that'd be quite something. So that's some speculation there, but it's definitely this the god whale has not sacrificed this yet, and it just started accumulating the last 3 days. So interesting stuff. And look, the last ones it did 7 hours ago, another 2.8 million, another 13 there. You can actually go into the hash and have a look. There we are, folks. You can see it picked up another 2.8 million hex using, you know, this combinations here of assets. So some interesting stuff there. I thought you guys would find that really interesting. The game is not set and match. There's lots of stuff happening, and I think we're going to be it's going to be super exciting period ahead. So going to be interesting there. And as Crypto Gentleman says, wow, absolutely wow. Wow at the total amount sacrificed, and wow at what different players are going to act out. What's the origin address going to do? Obviously, I think that getting a control of a lot of pulse has got to be in the game, right? It's got to be in the game. So I just have to think that the origin wallet's going to play its card. And if the origin wallet is that god whale, then the play is going to be happening. So just keep a track on that. That's going to be pretty interesting. Let's go back up there. So I'm going to post this, obviously. Now this is ranked, this wallet size is only ranked on page 8, I think, of the Hex list. But of a lot of those rest of those wallets are, if they're not a couple of big individuals, most of them are related to the origin wallet address. They're all wallet that happen. So all those addresses got broken up from memory after big payday. When they staked, so Origin Wallet went and staked all those stakes, and it went up to like 98%. Over 98%, I think it was, can't remember the exact number, 98.3 or something, and they staked, and it showed the power of the Origin wallet. And of course, it reduced the big payday payouts, and it stopped all the speculators, the day traders, trying to get big bags, you know, 3x bags and stuff like that. And so they went down to about 30% for those short-term traders, and it dampened down their impact on the market. So the Origin wallet does make big moves, and Pulsechain is a big move. So I can only see it. It's going to make a big move in my view. Once again, it's my speculation, not financial advice. And none of this is. It's just my speculation. You got to do your own due diligence. But this is pretty interesting stuff being going to play out. I also think that there's some VCs out there as well. We'll see whether they come out and play. We've already seen in the sacrifice addresses on the on the Pulse lead, you can already see there's always some pretty big individuals there from the looks of it. I'm assuming they're all individuals on there, 11 million, 5 million. That's some pretty decent bags there, and we should expect to see more of that over time. So at the moment, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the ETH chain that have got over 1 million. What will that be at the end of 19 days? Will we just have 7, or will we have 100 people with over $1 million sacrificed? What's that going to be? So it's interesting stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying some of this content. Smash that like button, hit the bell, of course, and yeah, if you want to look to support this channel, hit that join button and get into it. We're going to have lots of great content on Pulsechain. We're going to live with the journey of Pulsechain, because I think Pulsechain is a huge opportunity in the market, not only as a utility, being super fast and helping congestion on networks, being layer 1. I like that. You own your keys, you own your coins, and we want that on layer 1. Don't get me wrong, I do like stuff like Matic and layer 2 stuff, but you no longer own your coins, and that does concern me over time. Although I think that project's got a lot of great stuff going for it. I love these layer 1 solutions for sure, and especially if they're faster and better than Ethereum. Ethereum 1.0 is proven, the code's proven, but Pulsechain is looking to massively improve that. So we're looking forward to public testnet as well, so it's going to be good. All right, so that's some really cool stuff there. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Ken says amazing. Absolutely, it is super amazing. So we're going to watch and see how that plays out. But super fun at the moment for sure. I'm loving it. I don't know about you. I'm loving it. Let's just refresh this, see how much the sacrifice. 76689, and let's see if that's gone up there. Yeah, 7689. So it's gone up to 768. So it just keeps going up. I love it. It's so much fun. And obviously the price is going to move around a bit there, but hey, watch out, folks, for that. Are we going to see some potentially huge price moves? Because a lot of people are tentative, right? Say, is it we had to break that 10 to 12 cent mark to bust out. We did bust out. We went up as about 19.3 cents or something. This is on Hex, of course. Hex is the main play. That's why I'm particularly talking about it. It's the one that moves currently down to 15.8 cents. We'll see what happens there at the moment. We have already been down, of course, on this day, on this hour here, and that was not too long ago. And what we're down there at 14.57. So we will get some dips in this play, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over time. And obviously we've got up to day 5. Day 5 is going to be a particularly interesting point, because after that the penalty starts to apply, and that will provide some psychological pressure. I know a lot of people that are averaging in over the first 5 days. That's their strategy, and I think that's going to be fairly common. But what surprises are we going to get in the penalty phases with that? Because if someone can lift the price enough, then that would be an interesting play that might take a lot by surprise, and especially maybe in that first part of that phase when the penalties first start. Maybe that's the highest price point. Maybe some big player, if you're big enough, you could make that pay off for you, right? And if you manage to be sacrificing at the time, maybe the 5% penalty on the volume bonus doesn't hurt you too much, because the price went up 50% or something. So it's going to be interesting, folks. I think after we break that 10 to 12 cents, and then we got it 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, we do have the potential upside. Obviously, it's not investment advice, just my speculation is that we have the 25 to 40 cent range comes into play. But is that going to be beaten? Is that going to be beaten if some of those scenarios play out? Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how that works over the next 17 days. So those are definitely the upside scenarios, but yeah, something interesting to think about perhaps. All right, so let's quickly go back here and we'll check out some of the tweets on Richard Hart. First of all, let's check some of the chat here. Crypto Journeyman says, very exciting times. Thank you very much. Hey, a big pleasure, Crypto Journeyman, and great to see you in the chat. Awesome stuff. So, okay, let's get back here. So this is the tweets. Just sort of picking up for where we left off yesterday. I have missed out a few of these tweets down below, but you know, you can see the tweet there about the Sens Foundation. We already looked at that earlier. Once it goes in there, it gets turned into USDC, Coinbase. And here's, I guess we'll start here. This is 19 hours ago. People often ask me Hex or Sacrifice. I pulled the number one third Hex. So this is about strategy. So if you're thinking about strategy, this is from Richard Hart himself. You'll get it on 2 chains in the fork, and 2/3 Sacrifice out of my butt, he says. It's like Iron Man fighting Hulk. Hard to pick a winner. And so there he's got this, you know, the Hex crypto, hexpulsechain.com. Now, so this is the actual size of the Telegram groups. And you can see Pulsechain is actually now bigger than Hex in terms of the Telegram. There's obviously a lot wider communities because Pulsechain is for everybody. There's, you know, all the ERC20 projects are getting copied over. And so you're going to get a wide audience, not just Hexkins from the Hex project, but, you know, far and wide. So that's why this is growing faster too. Also, it's another chance of getting a chance at one of Richard Hart's projects as he looks to dominate and perhaps even take over crypto land. So it's interesting stuff there. All right, so that's that 1/3, 2/3 strategy. We have talked about that on this before. So I'm going to jump past this one. Talking about Bitcoin there, going to jump past this as well. Obviously, you can see the Hex is standing out as green. Obviously, a little pullback at the moment, but very small. Actually, I think it might have jumped back up. We'll see. So there was some issues around MetaMask having some problems estimating the gas limit that it should use by default to send ERC20s. I suggest just doubling its suggestion as you get refunded what it does use. MetaMask, I've seen lots of reports. So there's a little report there popping up the warning. And so you might get a few of those issues. So just take that into account. That may have been solved now. So just a bit of heads up on there. Check the account your sacrifice from. Obviously, following that, you'll find that it just failed and your sacrifice is still sitting in your wallet. So if that's happened to you, you might want to double check. Make sure you always confirm that your sacrifice has gone through. Maybe you just send your sacrifice from your MetaMask wallet to the sacrifice address, which you get on the Pulsechain DApp, which is this one here. And you get that from just going to pulsechain.com and opening up the DApp, connecting your MetaMask wallet and getting the address, and then sending your sacrificed tokens to that address. The Ethereum, of course, is all just one address. Everyone's sending all their tokens to one address, and we've seen that already. That is this one here. So we'll go back. That's this one here. So you can see the totals looking good and juicy. That's exciting, man. It's gonna be fun times. It is really cool. I love this stuff, so it's really neat. All right, so we'll jump back to the Richard Hart stuff there. So that's it, and we'll just keep going up here. Great news, Pulsechain sacrifice phases bring adoption to Binance Smart Chain. Thanks, CZ. It's the same address on BSC as on Ethereum. So you can now sacrifice, of course, a BNB, so BUSD, USDC, USDT, etc. So you just on the DApp, you just need to check the right network for that on the smart chain. So just take that account. And what else we got here? Make sure you are sacrificing from your own wallet. You have the keys too, not from an exchange. So just to cut that out, you can't sacrifice from an exchange for this Ethereum stuff. You need to sacrifice from your own wallet for the Ethereum one. So just take that into account. And here is some really nice news. This is regarding the Sens Foundation, which is part of the sacrifice. Obviously, you have to email the Sens Foundation to participate in that. But this is the first one. I want to thank Richard Hart. What he's doing for us is spectacular. And Audrey is actually quite well known with some other famous billionaires around the planet that also sacrificed to the Sens Foundation. We are having a very good year. I think a big expansion of our activities is coming. Thanks to Pulsechain airdrop, those plans are going to explode into another level entirely. So it's pretty cool. Our work will be greatly accelerated, resulting in huge numbers of lives saved in the future as a result of Richard's supporters. A wonderful generosity. It wouldn't happen without his vocal and eloquent support. So that's really lovely. Compliments from Aubrey. We're all working tirelessly to keep up with the donors and hold up our part of the process. We're probably closing in on 20 million mark now. So this was 10 hours ago, of course, so they've probably past that now. Thank you very much, Richard. And so that's you can see those sacrifices here on this address, which ends with E136. This all the money that goes in there goes out into Coinbase to raise up that 20 million or so dollars. So cool. Someone made a sacrifice tracker, pulselead.xyz, which we've already looked at. That's this one here, Pulselead, which is in the video description at the bottom if you want to check that out. And that's that. So let's go live. And so 2 hours ago, like if you want me to live stream in a few hours. So I'm not sure if that's actually happened yet. So yeah, that's the latest one. So I think Richard will be doing a live stream soon. So just check out from Richard Hart on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch that. I'm sure that's probably any time now. I'm not sure if it's on at the moment, but if it when it does come up, I'll be watching that too. So very cool on that. All right, so that was pretty much it from Twitter there. And yeah, pretty cool. Let's see what's anyone in the chat there. D3VO, what would be second best coin to sacrifice after Hex? Well, it really depends what your strategy is. So if you want just a straight out USD value and you want that to be solid, you could use a stable coin at USDC. That'd be stable. If you want to go for a non-stable coin, you're playing on the price, then you're probably not looking better than probably Hex in that point of view. Just got to get your timing right. But maybe Unicoin would be pretty good. It would be one of the better performers in the top. Tends to perform pretty well. So maybe Unicoin is something to consider. I think that's on the list. Just double check that list, but I think yeah, that's on the list. So yep. You could also do BNB. The BNB's be holding up pretty well, so you could consider doing BNB as a sacrifice on that. All right, very cool. Let's have a look here. Let me go back to. I'm going to go to CoinGecko. Pull that up. The best one is typically the one that you're going to be able to move price on. That's why a lot of people are doing Hex, because it's got smaller liquidity. You can move the price easier. So Binance has actually been holding up pretty well. In my view, obviously, it's down a little bit, 4.7, but it's actually on 7 days better. The last 24 hours, it actually was holding up. It's just probably just recently. It's just started to just pull back a little bit, but it's not too bad there. What else is? Yeah, so Uni's down quite a bit now. So since I last looked at it, so that's looking a bit weak at the moment. So maybe take that back off and go back to Hex. Go back to Hex. All right, so very cool. All right, let's quickly go here. The market is red at the moment, so it's a bit of a tough time. So probably X is probably the best one in my view. So yeah. All right, so let's go back to some of the see what other comments sent. D3VO, thanks for the response. It's all good. Like I say, it can be a bit tricky when the market's red. If the market's still going down bearish, then you want to be in the token that's actually generally green, and that's pretty much Hex, or isn't it? If you're not, the alternative is just to do a stable coin USDC, have that value stable. But I mean, the market speaks for itself at the moment, and with this weakness in Ethereum at the moment, not cool, not cool. But obviously, the cool thing is that Bitcoin is still over 30,000. So as long as it doesn't break that mark for over a day, then you're still okay. But there's certainly still in the bearish conditions. I have seen a couple of people say we're not in a bear market, and I just like no, we're in a bear market because this is the market's down. The market's down 51% off the high. So that's bearish. That's bearish. So what the bottom will be is a different question. Is it going to do a typical 85% pullback? May not do that. May finally do something a bit different. May have already happened, but just show weakness. But I would just be very cautious about that sort of position at the moment. All right, so very cool. So I think we've gone through a lot of that stuff. Let me have. Don't forget, this is pulsechain.com. The link's in the video description. You open the dApp there. That will open you up to pulse.info, which is PULSE.info. You can connect your wallet, select a network that will issue you an address that you can use to sacrifice either Ethereum and ERC tokens. That's all the same address. Everybody's sending it to that address. Or you can select a different one, so Bitcoin or something like that, and you can sacrifice that. And that's that. Nomics looking good. Let's go back to the addresses. Going to refresh this, see where it's at the moment. So welcome to the Sacrifice Hangout. I hope you guys have enjoyed a lot of the content today. Yeah, we keep climbing. The Ethereum's still climbing, and the Sacrifice still climbing as well. I think a good chance that by the time we start day 3, maybe maybe early in day 3, we could reach 1 billion in Hex. And it's going to be interesting. The more billions of Hex that get sacrificed, oh my gosh, so good for the price in the near term. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to get that pressure over the next few days. It's just like this is like a dream come true from if you're actually in that. So it's pretty neat. And obviously, if you're sacrificing, it's a win-win because you've got the pulse. You're going after the pulse too, and then the play of the pulse is going to be pretty awesome. And I go back to Richard Hart's tweet, which I think is pretty cool. And like I think that Richard's putting a wrecking ball through crypto, and it's going to be fun ride for sure. Not investment advice, of course. Do your own due diligence. But here's this tweet that I love. This is on the 16th. Can you imagine a world where PLS, EHEX, and PX are number 1, 2, and 3 market cap? I can. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's so cool. So very nice, and so I'm looking forward to that as well. All right, so pretty cool on that, and yeah, there we are. All right, so how are we going? 55 minutes, not doing too bad. Eric, post, what do we get for sacrifice? So the way it works is that you get points. Initially, you get points. So you get, let's go back up here. So let's go to this chart, sorry. You get, for every dollar that you sacrifice, you get 10,000 sacrifice points. That's the first part. There's 2 parts. So that's the first part. And so earlier is better. You can see on the chart, the first 5 days, earlier is better. You get more points per dollar. Then you get penalized as you go up. So by the time you get up to day 19, it's twice as expensive, right? So you'll only get, if for $1, you'll get 5,000 points approximately, whereas you'd have to pay, $2 to get 10,000 points at this stage. So here's the logic here. It's all in this paragraph. So a PLS supply increases with the amount sacrificed. The sacrifice set can mint 1 PLS per sacrifice point. So you get $1 gets 10,000 sacrifice points and 1 PLS per sacrifice point. So 1 for 1 there. Ethereum holders only get, this is addition, of course. Ethereum holders, if you're sacrificing, if you've got Ethereum in your wallet on Pulsechain, on Ethereum, when the snapshot gets taken at the fork, then you will get 1 free pulse per ETH on the Pulsechain. So that's the freemium airdrop there, and its value is deducted from their address after 30 days though. So even for those people with Ethereum sitting in a wallet, if they don't use their pulse that they airdrop that they get, or their copy that they get, then they will lose that after 30 days. That's to encourage people to use Pulsechain basically. The Genesis address, this is a bit like the Origin wallet on the Hex. The Genesis address gets 1% of the total PLS supply at launch. So that's going to be interesting. What happens with that? I'm quite interested by that. And that for me, that doesn't include the Origin address wallet play. That's what I said, which obviously controls probably over 90% of Hex, and also has all the Ethereum from the 350-day auction phase. So whether that's the God whale or not, you can decide. Based on some numbers that I heard Richard do say, it's possibly got even more ETH than that. So hard to say exactly. It will not benefit you and may waste the coins any way it wishes. So there has been rumors as well about airdrops. Airdrops. I have seen rumors about maybe all the ERC20 tokens might get airdropped back to Pulse holders. That's all here. So unless you actually see something from Richard, I wouldn't take that. I haven't seen him comment on it, something like that. As far as I remember, he may have something on that, but I just can't remember on that one. So I won't make too definitive statements on that. But I have searched that stuff. But don't base your sacrifice or your investment on those rumors. That would just be an upside if something like that ever did happen. I imagine that they may use those things for something else. It's just hard to say exactly. Maybe for liquidity pools, maybe all sorts of stuff. There's different options open there. If the total supply isn't 10,000x higher than Ethereum's, then everyone will get upscaled bonus coins pro rata to bring the total supply to 10,000x times ETH total supply. So we estimate that to be about there's about 116 million ETH. So we estimate that to be about 1.1 trillion pulse. That's the way we work that out. So pretty cool. The US dollar value of sacrifice are estimated using 30-minute time things. So that's why I say some people use stable coins to sacrifice, because it's just going to be fixed in US dollar value at any point in time. But if sacrificing non-stable coins like US dollars or DAI or something like that, then it's based on the 30 minutes in most cases of the weighted average prices where convenient. So I'm not sure what that convenient part means, but that's what it's been added there. All right, so pretty cool. That's the first part. So you get 10,000 points, which is 1 point per pulse for each dollar. And then, of course, there's the volume multiplier. And basically, the bigger that you put it in, you'll get ranked against everybody else's US dollar equivalent. Now, you can top up. So if you sacrifice one day, you can top up the next day and the next day. This is what we call averaging in. And because it's coming out of your wallet, it registers all your sacrifices. So it just adds up your US dollar amounts. So you can sacrifice different tokens. We'll just add up all those dollar amounts, right? And then that will then add those up and then rank you versus everybody else over the 19-day period. So that's how you're going to get ranked up, and that's your multiplier. And so if you did, let's say you did $1, you sacrifice $1, you get 10,000 points. It would just go, and you ended up getting one. You got a 1 because it was so low. Then $1 times 10,000 is 10,000 points times 1 would just be 10,000 points. So you get 10,000 pulse is kind of the way it would work. Obviously, if you did 1,000, that'd be 10 million pulse that you'd get because you just have 1 would be a factor. Obviously, if you were getting 1.1, maybe you're up further up in the rank on the total US dollar sacrifice. You get 1.1, so your 10 million would become times 1.1 would become 11 million pulse coins that you might get, something like that. That's the sort of logic. Holland, everyone's in the house. Big rockets there. Love the rockets. Awesome stuff. And M. O'Brien, USA. What happens to our staked Hex tokens after the fork? They just get converted to PHEX. So staked Hex tokens, you get a copy of your staked Hex on PHEX. So you get PHEX stakes. So just get your EHEX stakes get copied over to as PHEX in the airdrop when the mainnet Pulsechain launches. That simple. And if you've got liquid Hex on the ETH chain, which is EHEX, that gets copied over onto the Pulsechain as PHEX liquid. So it all just gets copied over. It's the biggest airdrop in history. But the thing on Pulsechain is that the price starts at 0, whereas obviously ETH already has a price. The Pulsechain starts from 0, and therefore there's going to be a big price discovery. This is why we call it the gold rush or the Wild West, and we're going to find out exactly what those are all worth. So hopefully that helps you there, M. O'Brien. Eric Post, can I sacrifice multiple times? You can. You can top up your sacrifice. All it does, the sacrifice is just going to register your address. Make sure you use your MetaMask wallet, and it's going to just register your address in the MetaMask wallet. So you can just keep sacrificing. Some people are sacrificing 20% on each day of the first 5 days. So they're just trying to get their average price, and that's the way you can do that. So cool. Holland, anyways, thanks for the shout out. Hey, no problem. Pleasure. And M. O'Brien, thanks as well. Hey, we've just come up on an hour. I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to do a big refresh here, and I might do another live stream later today. We'll see how we get on. During the day, I've also got to cover different other topics, but that's just over an hour. And hey, everybody, it's great to see you all on Sporting. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, hit the bell, of course. Share the video if you can. Really appreciate that. And of course, if you want to support this channel going forward, consider joining for that join button. Got some quite good categories there. Got the Axionites, Elites, Heroes, and Krakens, and it helps to grow this channel. We're growing really fast, and your support will add to that. Awesome. So hopefully you've enjoyed the content today. Try to bring you some insights, maybe some things to think about. You just never know. Let's see if I'm right on any of these things as it goes forward. It's going to be interesting times to see, and I will definitely give you updates on some of those as well. But awesome stuff. All right, I'll be doing a couple of videos later on today on different topics. So I'll be back on here as well. So awesome. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's just do one more refresh and see where it's at, and go for gold on that. Let's have a look. Yeah, boom. Just continue to go higher. More ETH going in there, and of course the Hex just just gone over 770. Awesome stuff. 771,492,000 Hex just keeps climbing, folks. And obviously the price of Hex moving around a bit. US dollars almost at 25 million. DAI stable 13.3. Tether at 4 million. Uniswap at 35,000. So lots of stuff going in there. Once again, if you want to know the official tokens, go to the pulsechain.com, hit the DApp, you'll come up to pulse.info, connect the wallet, select the network, and it will tell you all the coins that are available for sacrifice if you're in doubt about which coins you want to sacrifice. And all these links are in the video description. So go for gold. Remember to double check them. Use official links only. Don't anybody else. Don't use anyone's. Just the official ones, obviously, on that. Now on the DApp here, it does have the official social media on this DApp as well, so you can check those official social media as well, and that will help you. All right, onwards and upwards, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. Woohoo! We're going for gold. When it pump. Yeah, nice one, Marty. When it pump.